All right, so the meeting is now officially being recorded. Hello, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. We're here today celebrating our 5th anniversary of the Pan-African Robotics Competition. And we're actually going to be launching PARC's virtual learning platform this year. We do have a jam-packed agenda. So after my welcome, City and I are going to be giving you guys an overview of what it's been like having PARC throughout the years. We are then going to hear from a past participant of PARC, a couple of our sponsors, a few of our organizers. This year we also had interns, so a couple of them are here. And then we're going to get a demo of the virtual learning platform and browse that website, and then conclude with our celebration. So that being said, I can at least give you guys an intro of PARC. So PARC stands for the Pan-African Robotics Competition. It began in 2015, and it is an initiative of Senegal. Each year, it's a competition for robotic teams in Africa and the diaspora. The challenges are based off of societal issues, and our goal is that as the youth participate in these challenges, they're also gaining skills, being inspired to become scientists and engineers themselves. We now have 36 countries participating, and I listed out the countries in the slide, but I also had to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors because this wouldn't be possible without them. So big thank you to everyone, all of our sponsors for believing in PARC and for contributing to its success. So now we want to give you guys an overview of what it's been like throughout the years with PARC, starting in 2015 when it was held in Senegal, and then about 5 years, and it was only, just one country, but then 5 years later, it's 36 countries. So I'm hoping that City will join me, and so we can figure out how did all of this happen. And City, if you could take it from here and let us know, what was it like in the beginning? And why PARC? Why did you even decide to create this initiative?
Thank you, Fatima. Hello all, this is Fidi. It's quite overwhelming and exciting really to see that we are celebrating 5th year of the Pan-African Robotics Competition. And back in 2015, I think we had about a total of 40 students only, and today we have over 35 countries representing, youth across the continent. It's quite humbling and really, at the same time, very exciting. I mean, I think you've done a very good job explaining what PARC is, what is the vision of PARC, why we started it to begin with. And, quite honestly, I think this has been one of the most important things I've been involved in my life. And every day that, I'm alive, I'm really thankful for this opportunity to be able to give back to the community, to be able to bring people together, to be able to see the smiles and achievements and successes of the different people who have gone through PARC. So to me, it's like really amazing, and I'm really excited about it, very passionate about it. Yeah. So if you were to go back and look at every year, I think it'd be a fun exercise, and we probably won't spend too much time. So what I'll try to do is to tell you a little bit, maybe a story behind each year. In fact, I can still remember. I remember, so 2015 was the first time we had like this robotics competition. As you could see from the images, it was quite modest. We had about 40 students, and we had a very small field. And I remember I didn't have the money to actually do this, and I'll tell you some more stories on that. But I had a startup as a faculty at the University of Nebraska. I was given a startup to do research, but also to do what we call outreach, and to be able to do things to other countries or even within the United States in the Lincoln community. So I decided to use some of that fund to do the competition in 2015. So we went on to get about, I don't know, like 10 robots. And I remember flying to Senegal. I had about, I think, 1 week to do all of this. So we flew to Senegal. We had colleagues at the university there who helped us organize the event by putting together the different students. And I remember the night before the competition, I was in my hotel room trying to fix the robots. Still, like very late, I was trying to put together some of the robots, and trying to make things ready. But thankfully, the day after I was ready, we went and set up everything, and the kids came. And for about 2 days, they had a lot of fun, building robots. So we had to teach them how to build them by giving them instructions. And at the end of the day, we had a small competition, as you can see on the right bottom images. Now, this was quite fun, and really it was the beginning, because when we did this, the government of Senegal did pay attention to the stuff that we were doing, and then from then on we started, having conversation with them on PARC, and later on you'll see the fruits of those.
And City, actually, you mentioned a really great point, how in the first year, you guys were teaching the students how to build a robot on the spot. But we've since evolved a bit, and now the students are shipped their robots in advance, and they have about 4-5 months to prepare, and then they bring their robot back to compete. So that just goes to show how, we've been changing our methods throughout the years.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big achievements we've been able to achieve. And one thing I want to mention is the first cohort of students who are, some of them that are in these pictures. Today, some of them have graduated from university and are professional. Others are doing their master's. I think one of them will be speaking later. Some of which have actually been in touch till today. They are either finishing their schooling or they've already, started professional life. So it's quite, rewarding to see the whole process and how this event in 2015 had an impact in their life.
All right, great. So then and in that challenge, there was no official theme that year, but the students were forced to learn how to navigate the robot and pick and place different objects. So that's something else that's a bit different than the next year in 2016, where we had our first theme, which was powering agriculture. And Cindy, I'll let you take away so you can tell us a little bit about that year, please. Cindy, are you still with us?
Sorry, Fatima, I think I was speaking muted.
Okay.
All right, so as a result of the 2015 competition, we had a meeting with the Senegalese government, particularly the Ministry of Higher Education and Research, who had shown interest in co-organizing the robotics competition with us. At this point, it wasn't really Pan-African. It was still somewhat Senegalese robotics competition, though in my mind, it's been always Pan-African. So so this was a little bit different. Now we had a little bit of means because the government were able to provide food and as well as rental for the stadium and a few other logistic things that we won't be able to do on our own. What we were able to do, however, was just provide the robotic kits and do the training. So we did a training for about 2 to 3 days, just like in 2015. We were still training the students because most schools or who have participated at the 2016 competition didn't have robots in their respective schools. So we still had to bring them in a place and then do all the trainings. Now, the biggest takeaway from this competition was that it was done at a stadium instead of that hall we used at the university in 2015. So it was quite exciting. One thing that was memorable that I can still remember is that in the night before the competition, this thing takes a lot of efforts, a lot of time, and we didn't have a lot of the people we had here, Fatima and Victor and all of the people who are in our committee. We didn't have them, so we was just basically me, perhaps one or two friends working on this. So at the day before the competition, it was like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. at night, and in the morning, and we were still preparing to setting up everything you see there on the picture on the stage. And in the middle of us setting all of that, there was a fire. So it wasn't bad because nobody got hurt or anything, but it was a fire and we had to turn it off. Uh, but it was a big scare because we thought we might have to just call the day off, the competition off, when we had already reserved for the students to come. They have gone through the competition training, and then we have called in the media and so on. So, but fortunately, we were able to put the fire off and come back. And however, this was one of those years where it was a big boost for the competition. That's when you really start seeing how the competition has an impact on the students' life. You could see from these pictures how the kids are excited. This is more than just science now. It's a game. It's something that they enjoy doing. And when you're able to turn learning into something fun, then that's when you really succeed. So I think this was a big thumbs up for us to move forward with this competition.
Awesome. All right, so then we take it to 2017, where the theme that year was Made in Africa. And at this point, we do have other countries participating. So City, can you let us know how this year went?
So on the third year, we did well in 2016. So the government in Senegal decided to still work with us on, continuing this competition. And hence 2017. One of the major difference, as Fatima says, is we had more than one country now. We had Senegal as well as Gambia, as well as Mali participate. So this was quite a interesting and improvement achievement as far as the history of PARC goes. Excuse me. Now, so this, just like in 2016, we had to do still training of the students. We've used bigger robots, as you can see here. We decided to upgrade the robot, and instead of just having the small block robots we've been using in the previous years, we decided to use this VEX kit, which is much bigger, more complex. That allows students to be able to do more complex design and learn programming in the process. Now, as a takeaway from this competition is that one of the challenges, at least I should say, in this competition is the robotic kit was sent to Senegal, and we weren't able to get them from the port, from the customs, and we had to actually, work hard every day, going back and forth so we could get the custom release the kit, and they didn't release it until like the second day of the competition. Meaning the first day we were working without any robot, just talking about basics, what we would be doing and so on, and then. And the night of that first day, we were able to finally get the robotic kit. So the kids lost about 1 day, and then they were able to, for the next couple of days, make up whatever they lost. But you saw that some of the students had to actually stay at the competition site past 6 p.m., 7 p.m., sometime even later, just so that they could get their robot up and running. So yeah, it was a fun year. We were able to have really huge media coverage from Al Jazeera, from Voice America, I think it was New York Times and a few other people. And, I think having Gambia, having Mali was also a really good thing. Thanks.
That's great. Yeah, I think that just goes to show how dedicated the students are as well, and just how engaged they are, and they're ready to pivot if needed. So shout out to them.
Yeah, some students didn't want to have lunch because they thought having lunch would take time away from doing robotics.
Right. So then that takes us to 2018 for the One Health Innovation. And actually, I missed this competition, but after the competition is when I personally joined the team. So City, could you let us know how this competition went?
This competition was perhaps one of the toughest ones. Now, mind you, throughout this competition, PARC doesn't have an actual revenue stream. So we don't have money to actually run the competition in general in the previous years. So I would say perhaps 99% or 98%, besides if the government is involved, the funding comes from my pocket. And by pocket, I mean my salary that I get as a university professor. So this year, the Senegalese government didn't come on board, and we are very thankful for the previous help and the support that they had for the previous years. But for some reason or another, this year we were on our own, and partially because we wanted to open up to the whole continent. So we had, I think, more than 7 countries in the 2018 competition who were coming to PARC. However, I didn't have any money on me to run PARC. By enough money is to make it to the scale that I could make it. So I had my savings, and I decided to do the I couldn't afford to put a stadium and things of that nature. So I decided to run the competition at the university, at my university, the Dakar American University of Science and Technology, which we had already our building, facilities, which were more than adequate to do the work, but it wasn't a stadium. So we had to end up doing it in there. And we had, for the first time, we had Victor from Uganda, whom I met there. I had met a couple of other people who are now currently committee members from Sudan, Musa from Nigeria. And so it was really a good time to meet up with all these people. And it was really the starting point for PARC to become really Pan-African, because now we have more countries joining beyond, the few ones we had in the past. Now, one of the things about this year was that, it went very well. We were happy. The kids learned, excited as always. They go home really loving science, loving engineering. Now, one of the things, however, is by the end of the competition, I remember I had no money on me, literally any money. And this is I'm talking about the money I can use actually to buy food and drink. And I had kids and wife at home, so I spent all my money. And I remember there was this guy or lady who cooked the food, and I had to pay him or her in advance, and then pay him the rest. So after the competition, he was asking me, "Where is the money?" It's like, "What's going on? I'm going to figure out how to make this happen." But long story short, I was able to figure out how to make some more extra cash, and I was able to pay off this. But it was all worth it, and this is something I would do, any day, any moment, today again, because of I think the impact that it has, and because of what we're trying to reach at the Pan-African Robotics Competition.
Wow, City. And I feel like we don't say this enough, but yeah, thank you so much for your vision, for your leadership, and for all that you do, honestly, when it comes to PARC. So thank you. And this is the year that I joined the team. So big shout out to Sadibou Silla, because at that time, I was actually on a plane riding back from Senegal back to the United States, and we were seated next to each other on that plane. And we were just talking. He comes to find out that I have an engineering background. I love working with youth. And he invited me to join the PARC team. So I started working with them for a bit, and then they asked me to just be the organizer for it. And so that's kind of how I started to join PARC. And I've loved the journey ever since, which leads us to 2019, where PARC was previously in Senegal, but now we are in Ghana. Now our sponsors are growing. We have more funding to be able to provide robots for the teams in advance for them to work on it and then come to the competition. With the sponsors funding, we're also able to house the students and also pay for their meals. So the students did have to come up with their own money to pay for their transportation to Ghana. But having those initial funding helped a lot to allow these students to be able to participate in PARC. And so that's why we're so thankful to our sponsors as well. And so the theme that year in 2019, last year, it was African Smart Cities. And it was kind of inspired by Black Panther. So big shout out to that franchise. That was such a wonderful movie. And we decided, to do the theme around African smart cities. That year also, we had our first team from the diaspora, so the US, participate. And there was a total of 18 countries. And I also want to take the opportunity to give a big shout out to Ghana, to the Central University for even having us. So yeah, anything you want to add about that year, City?
No, I think you said it. You said, well, I think I think it was the year when we really had so many countries, so many faces, so many backgrounds, so many countries coming together. I mean, this was just a proof that it can be done, and Africa can come together. The youth can come together and can make great things. For me, it wasn't really an eye opener. It was something that made me optimistic about the continent and its future.
And that actually takes us to this year, 2020. We were supposed to have the competition in Rwanda. We're really looking forward to it. We made the visit, started planning, but unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we did decide to postpone the event. But that did give us time to work on our virtual learning platform. So we're really excited to launch that today. And you'll be hearing more about this VLP later on in this presentation. But I also wanted to mention that at this point we have 36 countries, so people from 36 countries that care about PARC, want to participate in PARC, and are ready to continue the journey. So at this point, I do want to pause and maybe City, you and I can turn our cameras on. Okay, I cannot tell. Is my camera on? Yes, okay. So what I wanted to do, City, was before we move on to the session, give you your dues, maybe introduce yourself a little bit more, because I jumped right in. So just wanted to explain that, you are the founder of PARC and I am the organizer of PARC. I've been doing it since 2018, absolutely love it, still believe in the mission, still really am excited about everything. But wanted to give you the opportunity to more properly introduce yourself as well.
Thank you, Fatima. So, hi all again. My name is Sidindao. I'm the founder of the Pan-African Robotics Competition. As a profession, I'm a professor at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. I'm a professor of engineering, and besides that, I do work in the continent in capacity building, especially in STEM education. Fatima, I think you muted.
Okay, thank you. So what I would like to do now is introduce a couple of our sponsors that were able to join us so that we can hear from them, get to know why do they support PARC, and also this is our opportunity to thank them and celebrate them for their contributions. And so let me share my screen again. So first up, we have Joseph Singimana from the MasterCard Foundation. And Joseph, are you with us?
Hi, Fatima. Yes, I am.
Great. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Wonderful, wonderful. Joseph, again, we want to thank you so much and the entirety of the MasterCard Foundation for believing in PARC, for supporting PARC. But I wanted to start off and ask you if you could just let us know a little bit more about your foundation.
Well, thank you. Let me start by thanking you for inviting me to participate in this celebration. Also, for the work that you and CD and the rest of the team at PARC do in engaging young people in not only in STEM, but also just robotics in general, but also just learning by doing. I think that's really very important. For those of you who are not familiar with the MasterCard Foundation, it's a private foundation. It was set up by MasterCard International in 2006. It's a separate and independent organization from the MasterCard International. It works in Africa and in Canada. The focus of the foundation is always about young people, and making sure that they do achieve meaningful and dignified work. So the foundation launched the Young Africa Work Strategy a couple of years ago, and that entails to be able to enable about 30 million young Africans by the year 2030 to acquire and obtain meaningful and dignified work, as I said. But we also want to make sure that we foster education and make sure that the kids have access to quality and relevant education. And I think that the use of technology to be able to do that, STEM, when it comes to work and the future of work, which is, I think, is one of the themes that's coming up with PARC, is really to make sure that that young people are equipped, supported, and enabled to be able to achieve great things throughout their lives. So I'll pause there, and then maybe I can answer any questions you might have.
Yes. Well, another question that we had was, of all of the, STEM educational programs, why PARC? How did that come about? Why did you choose to sponsor PARC?
Well, I think it's really, it comes down to the work you're doing, right? You're engaging young people on the continent, and not only in the robotics or science fair, if you will, but with the purpose. So all the themes that you undertake every year is to solve a problem, a relatable problems, and one that's relevant to the communities that are engaged. So I think that's really one of the things that really kind of highlights the work you're doing, because it's the applicability of what these young people are coming up with that's important.
Okay. And yeah, with PARC, we do promote STEM. So I wanted to know, either you personally or maybe on behalf of the foundation, why is STEM so important? And the fact that we have next year's theme as the future of work, what do you feel is the importance of that?
Yeah, so I mean, the importance of science, engineering, technology, and mathematics is really out there for everybody to see. If you look at the number of jobs that are created by scientists, technologists, engineers, you can see that there is a huge factor. And so as we enter into the century of technology, the fourth industrial revolution, STEM take on a very significant aspect and role. And so really, if you look at the future of work, this is an area which is going to expand considerably. So as we seek to enable young people to acquire a dignified work and fulfilling work in this century, you cannot sidestep, STEM. That's why we think it's important.
Great, thank you so much for that. And I guess before you leave us today, I wanted to ask if you had any final comments about PARC.
Well, no, absolutely. I mean, I want to encourage you to continue the work you're doing. I'm thrilled that with all these challenges we are having, you have developed a virtual platform allowing for this kind of competition and work to continue. Even when we cannot meet face to face. So I'm really excited about that. So I mean, kudos to you guys, and please keep up the good work.
Well, thank you so much. And yeah, City and I mean, we both want to thank you so much for, again, believing in PARC, but also for all of your contributions with the MasterCard Foundation. And even when we began working on having PARC in Rwanda, you guys were there, like full support. So thank you so much. And yeah, we look forward to continuing this virtual learning platform. And yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Absolutely. And congratulations for the 5 years. Looking forward to 5 more.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
So again, that was Joseph from the MasterCard Foundation. So thank you again for that. So before we hear from our next sponsor, which is going to be MathWorks, I did want to take a time out to do a quick interview with someone who has participated in PARC before. and she's one of the originals of PARC. So Awa, are you there?
Yes.
I am.
Okay. So we're just going to do our Q&A with Awa, and then I'm going to ask Ascension to do our Q&A for MathWorks. So Awa, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good. Should we turn on our cameras, or is the bandwidth not
Sure.
supportive?
I think it should work.
Okay. All right, let's see if this is gonna be good. So can you start by maybe just introducing yourself?
Yeah, my name is Awa, as you can see, and I did PARCS back in 2015, which was the first edition. So it's actually quite exciting for me to sort of have an overview of like how it has grown over the years and what has happened. But yeah, so I'm from Senegal, and then after I did PARCS my last year of high school, and then went on to do my bachelor's in civil and environmental engineering in the US. And then for the past year was just finishing up an MSc in environmental change and management at Oxford. So yeah, that's a bit about myself.
So thank you for that. Could you please let us know, why did you even decide to participate in PARC? And perhaps also share with us a fond memory from when you first participated.
Yeah, I think I decided to participate because I remember when I heard about it, the idea of doing robotics just sounded quite fun and interesting. And I think the idea of also sort of taking a few days and doing something practical was quite exciting. And then sort of meeting new people from other schools as well. And I would say definitely some highlights were the last day when we had to do the competition, which was both sort of nerve-wracking. And I think that's when you just realize everyone has a competitive edge to them. And but yes, I think that was really fun, and sort of just kind of watching something that we'd built and developed for a few days actually come together and working. Yes, I'd say definitely the last day was the sort of highlight. I think you're on mute.
Yes, I was on mute. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I was wondering that if you could share with us, is there anything that you learned about yourself throughout when you were a participant of PARC? And also, how did participating in PARC impact your career journey?
Yeah, I think for me, sort of one of the biggest learnings from PARCS was just, like I was saying, kind of starting from scratch to some extent, and sort of building something and seeing that come together. And in a sense, I think that gave me this idea that, you know, engineers solve problems. And to some extent, obviously, a lot of things came into influence my decision to study engineering during my undergrad. But I think that definitely, yeah, again, shaped that understanding or idea that I had of sort of engineering helping to solve problems in a practical way. And I would say also something else that happened for me was just because when I was in high school, I always had this sort of inclination to think about how do I get involved and how do I contribute to making a difference or solving problems. But in a sense, that almost prepared me to give myself permission. And I say that because then when I did my undergrad, my first year, actually, I found out I was going to be able to visit home over the summer. And then through a class that I took, I kind of was able to transform that final project into a summer leadership camp that I came back to run in Dakar with some friends. And so in a sense, it was like I realized that I didn't necessarily need to have a long list of credentials or extensive experience to just be able to do something and make a difference. And I think, yeah, perhaps through kind of having seen CD sort of just with the means that he had put something like that together, in a sense, inspired me to say, okay, then I could also just do something. And I don't, yeah, kind of giving myself permission.
Well, Owen, so thank you so much for joining us and allowing us to ask you a few questions. But before you go, I wanted to know, do you have any advice for current PARC students? And do you have just final comments in general?
I would say probably just make the most out of the opportunity. One thing that happened with me also is that some of the connections and some of the people that I've been able to meet through parks are still people that I'm quite close friends with. And I think I've just learned a lot both from that experience, but also, yeah, from other things that have grown out of it. So I'd say just enjoy, make the most out of it. Yeah, and have fun, basically. Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, thank you. I was saying, yeah, that's some really solid advice. I think it's really important, especially like just the fun part. It should be enjoyable.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
so I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to talk with us. Really
Of course.
appreciate it.
Thanks
And
for
good
having
luck. No, absolutely. Good luck with the rest of your career.
Sounds good. All right, and congrats.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
See you later.
Bye.
So yeah, that was Alan-Jai, who is a former participant of PARC. And at this point, I would like to ask Ascension from MathWorks to speak with us about their sponsorship. So let me go back to my PowerPoint.
Hi, Fatima.
Hi, Ascension, how are you?
I'm fine. You can hear me well?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Let me see. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So Ascension, if you could please, please introduce yourself first of all, but then also let us know a little bit more about MathWorks.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So I'm Ascension Coutry. I'm an engineer, and as well I work in the education technical marketing team at the MathWorks. So MathWorks develops mathematical computing software. The most popular platforms are MATLAB and Simulink. Maybe you have used MATLAB, which is used for data analysis, machine and deep learning algorithm, and as well Simulink is used for model-based design, is well known for model-based design and embedded systems. MATLAB and Simulink allow engineers and scientists to accelerate the space and their discovery, the innovation and development in all industries. Can be used in automotive, aerospace, biotech, robotics, electronics, etc. And as well, MATLAB and Simulink are also used for teaching and research, and they can be used in high schools, universities, and research institutions. So today we have more than 5.6 million of students who are using MATLAB and Simulink, and more than 1,700 universities around the world today. MathWorks as well was founded in 1984. I have colleagues around the world, and today we are more than 4,500 people. And
Sorry about that. I was slow to go off of mute. But thank you. Yeah, thank you for that introduction of MathWorks. And if you could please just let us know, why is STEM so important to the organization and even to you personally? I think we'd love to hear that.
So our aim is to ensure schools have access to the tools, curricula, and training necessary to build the interest and competencies necessary for students to pursue STEM careers. And as well, what is important is a strong pipeline of future engineers and scientists is critical to growing our technology economy and advancing as well our quality of life. So STEM is very important for MathWorks. And personally, it's important as well because it's the future. Today we have a lot of technology which are based on sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So you have to build all these competencies, and this is very important.
Great. And can you give us some insight as to why MathWorks decided to sponsor PARC?
So why we sponsor PARC?
Yes.
We sponsor PARC because students can gain tremendous technical skills on modeling and simulation, but as well hands-on experience on STEM. PARC allows students not only to increase their knowledge as well on embedded system, robotics, and AI, but also they will develop team spirit and communication skills.
That's great. And so, yeah, we are able to do that, especially when we have awesome sponsors like you guys. So thank you. And I guess my final question would be, do you have any final comments before you leave us today?
So final comments. I really I was fortunate to be present at the 2019 event. It was great to see the enthusiasm, the motivation of the different teams. It was an honor to be there, and for the future of work for this coming team for this year. So for the teams, I have a message. So feel free to contact us about if they have questions about AI, machine learning, deep learning. They want to use this algorithm and workflow with their robots. So just use MATLAB and Simulink.
Awesome. And yeah, so no, thank you. And we were really appreciative of having you last year. You even held a workshop with some of the participants. And we had really great feedback on that. So thank you for that. And also MathWorks shares some of their resources for us. And we're going to highlight those on our resource page in the virtual learning platform. So thank you for the continued support. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So next up, we would like to hear from a few of the organizers at PARC. It takes a lot to put these competitions together, so we're really thankful to have such dedicated people. So I would like to ask Victor, Ada, and Michael, if you guys could please introduce yourselves, and then I have a couple of questions for you guys. So I'm not sure about everyone's camera bandwidth, but we can certainly try. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and maybe we can turn on our camera. All right, so Michael, maybe we can start with you. If you could please let us know, why did you decide to, work with PARC, and also what has been your past and current roles with PARC?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Michael Dier, and I'm from Ivory Coast, and I was a judge for the competition in PARC before, and also a country coordinator. And I joined PARC because it's like, for me, PARC planted in each youngers like a dream seed, and that is most important for me, because the environment where they are, and also like the kind of project they can build, all these things like can create like a dream in their heart, so that they can think about like a big vision to accomplish tomorrow. That was like the most things that drive me to join PARC.
Awesome, and we're so happy to have you on the team. And how about you, Ada?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was PARC judge and currently tech specialist and country coordinator at PARC. Why PARC? I think my love for technology. I think Michael. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Like, I thank Michael Levantai when he told me to, if I really want to be PARC judge, I was so excited because it was my dream to participate to the PARC competition and help out. And now when like Fatima invited me to work with PARC, like I was very excited, and working with you all like was very inspiring, and I was feeling like I'm part of a family and also part of a big and important missions. Yeah. And I'm still enjoying it.
And we thank you for all of your contributions as well, and we really appreciate it. And both Anna and Michael and a host of other people, they also speak French. So they've been super helpful in making sure that our content is available for both English and French speakers. And so we want to acknowledge that and thank you for that as well. And we also have Victor, who has been with PARC for quite a while. So Victor, can you please let us know, why have you been participating in PARC, and what has been some of your past and current roles with PARC?
Thank you, Fatima. I'm really excited to be part of the big community of PARC. Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we
Hello?
can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I've been in STEM education since 2012. I've worked with organizations like Fundibots as the lead technician and lead robotics instructor. That was 2012 to 2017. And then when I left, I started working with organizations like Oysters and Pearls Uganda, Ye Engineering. And then in 2017, some of the schools I was training qualified for the international robotics competitions, which was supposed to be in Mexico in 2018. So I was like, I will need to take the students to Mexico. And then things happened, and students didn't get, were not able to meet the travel bills. But at the beginning, we had heard of PARC being in Rwanda. So I was also training a team to participate in PARC in Rwanda. And all of a sudden, but that team was now being sponsored by Oysters and Pearls. So unfortunately, towards the end, the competition was again changed back to Senegal, and still my team was kicked out, like because of that travel bills. But because I had already planned, for Mexico, and I was like, I got in touch with Dr. Sidi through Sandra Washburn, the founder and the executive director of Oysters and Pearls. And we kept the communication, and I was like, I think I'm able to go to Senegal. And but the big question was, Senegal is a French-speaking country. Who am I going to speak to? I was like, since the person I'm going to meet speaks English, I'll be good to go. But part of the reason as to why I went to Senegal was to observe and also borrow some of the skills, because we were planning also to start organizing robotics competitions as Oysters and Pearls. So I traveled to Senegal, and right from the beginning, observed how it went. I interacted with Dr. Sidi and the rest of the teams. It was really exciting, and for me to be part of PARC, it's part of something I've been passionate about, because I've been passionate about training, but like the hands-on training in robotics, but I've been doing it in my home country. But now PARC was giving the opportunity for the whole of Africa, and I definitely had to, be part of PARC. When Dr. Sidi asked me, he was like, even with your technical skills, we need someone technical on the committee. I was so excited, and I believe in what PARC does. And you also inquired about some of the most the memorable experiences.
That's right.
That was last year in Ghana. The way I saw the whole committee that time, like, the late nights, some people skipping meals, trying to make sure, this competition has to make like a mark in the students that are participating, in all the people that are attending. For me, it reminded me of a story of the ants whereby the existence of a single ant is not as important as the existence of the colony. So at that time, it showed me everyone minded more about the park as a whole, as opposed to say the individual benefits. So yeah, that was memorable, something memorable to me, and I believe it has cultivated to better say park opportunities coming on.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Victor. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned how you came in, you had expertise to give, but you were also wanting to learn so that way you can take back and do more. And I absolutely love that. And that's what I really appreciate about PARC as well, because even though we call it Pan-African Robotics Competition, isn't really a competition because we really do want everyone to succeed. We want everyone to be successful. We want to collaborate. And that's actually, we added a feature on our virtual learning platform called PARC Collaborate. And so instead of a C for competition, it's a C for collaborate. And so I'm really excited about that. And I really do love that culture within us that we want to give and learn together. So, but before I let you guys go, if Michael, Victor, Ada, do you guys have any final comments?
I think my final comment would be to invite everyone. Oh, I didn't respond to my fond memory of PARC. I think that would be CD's speech at PARC 2019. And I think it was like what he said, it was very powerful. And my last word will be to all the young people like me, to we should come together and make Africa the most beautiful, joyful, and developed place in the world. That will be my last comment.
Love it.
I think my fun story was the story I had is we had that boy, I think he was from Djibouti, and he was well dressed with a jacket, with a suit. And the presentation was I know what I'm talking about, right?
I think he was from Sudan. I think he was from Sudan.
I was from Sudan. Okay, thank you. From Sudan. It's when I look at that, I say, okay, that's the kind of things that, because after he lived that kind of experience, I know if he go for everything you want to achieve, you will target the great things, right? And achieve a great things, because he already have a standard that, okay, we can achieve something great, we can achieve something great. And also, I just like the boy also. It was very great to have him. And what I can say as a last thing is just encourage PARC to continue what you are doing, and so that we can equip more young people to take over any challenges, because this is very, very important to create more impact in all the projects we are building in Africa. And that I'm always open and always great to help and be part of also this mission. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And yes, I totally agree. The youth are so inspiring. They give the energy back. So it's amazing. How about you, Victor? Any final comments?
Also, going back to the way Professor CD explained the couple of years PARC has been in existence. You look at the challenges, but still it happened. Yeah. So for me, what I pick and basing on that is, I think given that all those setbacks didn't deny PARC an opportunity to see the Africa it always wanted to. I think it's a way to encourage everyone that is joining PARC, everyone that is getting to be part of the PARC community. But Also, I'm looking at a point where this is something I really love, and I hope, I pray that, you know, at some point, most of these technologies will be homebrewed. Yeah, I look forward to also seeing, say, PARC on top of the competitions, but also directly, say, home brewing, say, in Africa, or even the students that have gone through PARC, creating most of these technologies besides just the robots. But, you know, Africa also needs to join the space race. So I'm looking forward to that. I might not be personally part of that, but I believe I can contribute to, and PARC at large, we can contribute to someone that is going to be, say, part of that contribution. And those are the much younger ones today. So I'm looking at mainly the home brewing of these technologies that we see out there on the continent of Africa.
That is beautiful. So thank you so much. Big thank you, Victor, Ada, Michael. Thank you so much. Honestly, it is hard work organizing PARC, but I will say all of the organizers make it easier. Everyone really cares about what they're doing. Everyone is passionate, dedicated. Everyone's nice human beings. So it's just enjoyable to work with PARC. So I want to thank you each for all of your contributions to PARC. We this year had a chance to, for the first time, have a internship program. And we had 4 interns, each working on a different project. And that was also a wonderful experience. And we have a couple of our interns who stayed on. And so we would love to hear from them. So Muku and Isiche, are you guys available right now?
Yes, Fatima, I'm available.
Okay. Muku, are you there as well?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Muku, looks like the connection may be a little bad, but we can give it a try anyways. So if you could please, each of you, just take the time out to introduce yourself and also let us know what project did you work on during the internship.
Okay, so my name is Kubeishe Kasabusa. I'm a student based in Zimbabwe. And I was responsible for managing PARC social media pages and just trying to grow the follower base since the business has gone digital these days. So it is also important for us to be existent on the digital market.
Thank you. And how about you, Isiche?
My name is Isiche Felim. Yeah, I'm from Ghana. I worked on the virtual learning platform curriculum, and it's been an amazing 5 months now working with PARC, and that's what
Awesome. Well, I mean, and we met weekly for this internship programs. It was 2 months long. And I honestly felt like each week was spectacular. I would always give them positive feedback because I just really love the work that they're doing. And Muku continues to work our social media pages. And I feel like at least 2 weeks, someone contacts me, asks me, who's doing the social media? It's looking great. I'm like, yeah, that's Muku, she's doing it. And then same with Isiche, like the learning curriculum that he was able to produce is actually being featured on the virtual learning platform. So I absolutely love that the work that they're doing is useful, is being used, and it's such great quality work. So I'll tell you guys this all the time, but great job. With the internship program, we did first start off with doing training, and then you guys were assigned projects that you had to work with. So I wanted to ask you, what was your experience like being an intern? Did you have a memorable moment?
For me, it was quite an amazing experience. I got to have another family. I always look forward to the Friday meetings and interacting with all the other interns from across Africa. it was a new experience for me because I hadn't gotten a chance to interact with youth from other countries. So it was like the first of its kind. And I got to learn about everyone's culture and how things are done in different countries. But at this point in time, I feel like I've been to 4 different countries in Africa.
So Muku, you were breaking up a little bit, but I was able to catch it. So I just want to repeat some of the things you said, that you appreciated working with other people from different countries and cultures and being able to learn from them. So thank you for that. And how about you, CJ?
Well, I'm also appreciative of the opportunity that was given to me. I was able to work with different intellects, people from different countries and culture. I got to know that there are good brains out here in Africa. And also one of the memorable moments were when we had our 2 guests, Sidi and Silas Adinkule, and that was one of the most interesting sessions we had because it really involved us and inspired us to do what we set out to do. Yeah, so these were some of the moments I had in PARC internship program.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. I forgot about that. So during their internship, we did have some special guests of people that was actually working in the industry. And that included, Sidi, Silas, and Amina. So Amina's from marketing, Silas is an entrepreneur, does also robotics. So big shout out and thank you to them as well for their contributions to the internship. So before I leave you guys, I did want to ask, what are your goals for the future? And did you have any final comments?
So my future goals are to give back to my community as much as I can and expose so many kids at a young age to STEM. I've been involved in training kids in coding bootcamp where you just see them basic computer skills as well as programming skills. And I'm hoping to see that to full scale and be involved in that even across my country, if it is to take it to other countries as well. So that's like my future goals. So I'm also interested in digital marketing. So I'm hoping to start a digital consultancy. So yeah, those are my goals. Oh, and my final comment is for PARC to continue doing the institute program as it is a great opportunity for other young people to be exposed to the larger world and be involved in learning new skills and everything else. We were taught new skills at first and management, soft skills, as well as social media. And we were taught actually involved in all the other stuff, which is a great thing. And I think it is a great contributor to get you ready for the bigger market and to be ready for you to get into the corporate world.
All right, thank you, Muku. And just a high-level summary for those who are having trouble hearing, Muku is saying that she's really looking forward to taking the experiences that she's having and the skills she's developing to continue work in her home country, but she also wants to see well for the whole continent. And she also mentioned the importance of both the hard skills and the soft skills, developing that, being able to manage and taking advantage of digital marketing, how that's a great form of communication. Mm-hmm. So Muku, thank you so very much. And how about you, CJ?
As a software developer, I want to use my skill set to solve problems in my society, Africa at large, using technology. And as a product of one of a STEM organization like PARC, I want to give back to my society because I feel there's so much untapped opportunity in Africa here. So when we tap into these resources, like giving back to the society, like what PARC is doing right now, these are some of my future goals and what I tend to attain. Yeah.
That is great. So thank you so much. Best wishes to both of you guys. And thanks for all that you do. All right. So at this point, we've heard from quite a few different people. We've heard from Sidi, the founder of PARC. We've heard from a past participant, Awan Jai. We've heard from a couple of our sponsors, Joseph from MasterCard Foundation and Ascension from MathWorks. We've heard from some of our organizers, Victor, Ada, Michael. We also heard from a couple of our interns, Muku and CJ. So that being said, big thank you for everyone for taking the time out to talk to us. What we want to do now is let you guys know about the virtual learning platform that we keep talking about. We're really excited for this because this is going to be an opportunity for the youth to continue to engage in robotics and STEM, but virtual. But we understand that oftentimes our internet connections isn't that amazing. And so we're really excited to say that we also have offline capabilities. So you're able to download different things to your PC and still be able to engage in the different features. We have different curricula, quizzes, written and video tutorials, because I mean, depending on who you are, you may prefer a video or you may prefer written. So we try to diversify that a bit. We're encouraging self-paced learning, but also there's going to be opportunities for people to compete. An upcoming feature that we're really excited about is training and certifications for our educators, because that is something that they have been seeking from us. So we're really excited to be working on that. And then I mentioned to you guys the idea of PARC Collaborate, so an opportunity to share resources among ourselves. So at this point, I wanted to share my screen and actually take you guys to the website. All right, so if you go to parkrobotics.org/learn, the page is now live, and there are different features. If you click the curriculum button, it'll lead you to some of the curriculum that we've already been developing, along with our upcoming curriculum. In the certifications, that's going to be the place where the educators can go and get their training, and upon completion, get their certificates. We have tutorials that are available because, and I'm going to be showing this a bit later, but we do have different games and simulators for the youth to use. And so we do have tutorials for those. We also have quizzes available for the youth to learn from the curriculum, but then take a quiz to assess their knowledge. I'm going to skip these two for now, because those are like our big features, and I'll just jump straight to PARC Collaborate. The resource page is going to be a space for us as PARC organizers to be able to share the resources that we're aware of, but we also want people who want to share to also upload content. So we've already started uploading a few different resources, and one of them is actually the fundraising guide to participating in PARC, which is another one of our interns created. And we also have a PARC community page. This is a space where you can make your own profile. You can create specific pages, and we have a couple of examples already. One's about knowledge sharing, another one robotics hub. You can create groups. I'm actually really excited about the reading club. I think, like, for example, that's going to be a group where you can, share books, have discussions, etc. But yeah, you can create your own new group. If you have upcoming events, you can share that. And I won't go through all the features because you guys can hopefully log in and engage with it yourself. But yeah, this is a space where you can have your friends, like, increase your network, upload videos and photos, and really just engage with the PARC community on a whole. So at this point, I do want to now talk about the two main features that we've been working on. One is called PARC Code, and the other one is PARC Sim. So when you click on PARC Code, it will take you to this page in which you can decide to engage in the platform in English or in French. I'm going to go ahead and select English because I do not speak French. From here, it'll recognize your account, so that way, as you progress and you come back, you can start off where you can keep going where you left off. But on this page, it asks you, do you want to, start working on the challenge, or do you want to do some practice? So let me click the challenge. When you click the challenge, it lets you know what the game expectations are. So the objectives that you need to achieve with the robot. And then you're also able to drag and drop different coding. And we actually have Joseph, who's going to be there to give you guys a demo of the coding. But once you drag and drop and you press play, it'll actually, here's your robot, it'll do whatever you coded it to do. And the feature also has the ability to save your codes. So let me give you an example. Let's say I started playing the game but needed to log off. Well, I can save the code here. And then later on, when I log off and come back, I would just click the download button, and then it would have my different codes available for me to load back up. And it stacked it on top, but there it is. So really excited to have this game, because we think this is a great opportunity for the students to build their coding skills. The challenges that we have are challenging, they really are. But we also have practice arena and tutorials for the youth. And let me show that. So in this practice arena, there's different presets. So as you select a preset, a particular challenge is going to come. And then there's an accompanying video and written tutorial that lets you know if you're unable, like for this challenge, you need to somehow have the robot pick this ball up. And so for this challenge, you have to have the robot pick the ball up. And so the video tutorial is going to let you know how to do that if you can. So at this point, I would like to ask Joseph to share his screen and give us a demo of the robot in action. So Joseph, are you there?
Yes, Fatima, I'm here. Okay. Disabled participant screen share. I think my screen, I'm unable to share, please. Hello?
Yes, can you try now?
Okay, okay, great.
It works?
Yes, yes.
Great.
The one that is screen to share. Oh, I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. Share screen. Oh, could you see my screen the first time I shared? Share.
Yes, yes, we could.
Okay, great. You can see the game interface.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. I'm Joseph, and I would be showing how to manipulate this object using block codes. So currently, as you see on your screen, there are a number of blocks that I dragged onto the script workspace. You could drag other blocks onto the workspace and join them to this set of blocks to run instructions, or if you drag them out too as well to delete them, you could also delete them this way, or use this to delete all of them entirely. So basically, these block codes hold instructions that would manipulate this robot to tackle the objectives Fatima showed in this pane or this helper dialog. So when you press play, what moves according to the block codes that you have instructed it to do. So at the moment, it told it to move 610 millimeters based off this 10 right, move a couple millimeters, pick up that object, move forward, release the object, and move back. So basically, those are the instructions I set them to do. But a number of instructions else could also work. If you restart it, everything resets to its former states. And you can also view it in 3D space. as well as in this space. So in 3D space, when you press play, the robot 610 millimeters, it turns right, it turns, moves 540, it turns left, pick up the object, is smaller than the camera stuff, and drops the object, basically. And that's it for block codes and instructions. There are a number of instructions you could use, or blocks you could use to manipulate these objects, or instruct the robots to do a number of things, which would be further explained in the tutorials Fatima mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. And yeah, I wanted to mention, because each time that you press play, there's a traffic light that comes. And so in this particular challenge, you need to code it so that way the robot only moves when it goes green. And so that's what I mean by, it is a bit challenging. You're going to have to do some thinking, but we also have some scaffolding available for beginners. So Joseph, thank you again for giving us this demo of the PARC code.
Thank you very much for that as well. All right.
Okay. I will now share my screen again, so that way we can look at the PARC simulator. So if you click the PARC Sims, it will lead you to this page. On this page, the purpose of this game is to be able to design, build, and compete with a virtual robot. So you could, though, instead of designing your own robot, you could select from an already made robot. So these are the different options that are available to you. So you can select from these and play the game. Or you may decide to build your own robot, and that'll take you to the workshop. Similarly, I think I quit the game entirely. Okay. All right. Similarly, you can click here and go to the workshop directly to build your robot. And then I also wanted to mention before we do that, that there's also a multiplayer mode so you could play by yourself solo, or you can play with other players. So let's go to the workshop. When you go to your workshop, it's a place where you need to build your robot. But at minimum, you need to add a robot arm, a wheel, and a camera for you to even qualify to even put your robot into the playing field. But as you can probably imagine, you're not going to be able to do much with just an arm, wheel, and a camera. So you're going to have to add more parts. And so Naftali is actually going to give us a demo on how to add the parts. But before that, I just wanted to mention the different features that are available in this room. Here is where you have the different parts that are available, and you can click each one. And this is a space where you can, like, let's say I wanted this wheel, I would click it and then bring it over. But there are different options, wheels, gears, etc., for you guys to browse through. And because I told you the minimum are those three things, it'll give you the check mark. And then once you have all three available, it'll give you an option here where you can actually play the game. Over here, it has different instructions on how to do different things. Like if you needed to rotate a part, it'll show you how to do that. You can put parts on different axes, so it shows you how to do that as well. Like here are the different axes that are available, where you can, and it shows you how WASD, so in your keyboard, that shows how you can change the view. If you want to build, you would left click. If you need to delete, let's say I need to delete this wheel, I would right click. You can also zoom in and zoom out. And yeah, you could always start over and have a new build. So it's a really awesome platform. And once you build your robot, you can then take it to the playing field. And so what I wanted to do now is just allow Naftali to demo the robot that he's already built. And then we'll go ahead and take the robot and bring it into the playing field so we can see what that looks like. So Naftali, are you available?
Hello.
Hello. So let me stop sharing my screen. Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay, so yeah, I'm left with only adding wheels. Like I've already added camera, the arm, that's the wheel.
And so this is the robot that Naftali has just been building from scratch. And these are all using Vex parts. So all of these parts available are from Vex Robotics.
So the robot is technically ready now for the game.
Okay. And can you now show us how this robot can go to both, like can you go to solo mode first, and then we'll go to the multiplayer.
Yeah, so here's the robot that I have built.
So yeah, this is the robot that Naftali just built, and this is the view that he's seeing. And inside of this game, it has different objectives. There are some cube blocks that the robot must pick up and bring over to the L shape to build a wall. And this is going to be representing a retaining wall because a landslide will be coming soon. And those are represented by white balls. And then in this particular game, the robot then has to go on a rescue mission and rescue the victims of the landslide. And at the very top, it has your different scores. So in this mode, you're playing by yourself, but you can also play in multiplayer. So Naftali, if you could exit out of here and see what it looks like if you go into the multiplayer mode. And that field that you just saw is actually what we would have seen in Rwanda. So it's real, like. So at this point, Naftali is connecting to the multiplayers.
My internet.
Okay.
Problems.
And yeah, we knew this would happen. So this game is available for offline as well. So that way you're able to download the PC to your game and still be able to design, build, and compete with the robot without using the internet. All right, so from here, he can you can press cancel because I've already created a room. I'm not telling. So, but yeah, as he was about to create his own game room, but like I said, I already created one. So then he would select to join instead. And to compete with multiplayers, you need at least 4 people available. And so we have here the 4 different people that are ready to play. Once everyone selects that they are ready, you'll see the 4 green check marks. And from there, we can actually launch and play the game. So we'll just start the game and see what that looks like.
I built a very big robot.
I'm sorry?
I built a big robot.
Yeah, you built a big robot, exactly. And that's a good thing about this feature, about this simulator, is that you can see your robot and say, okay, you know, it may be too big. So then you can go back and make some edits. So that's a nice feature that you can actually, create, play, tweak, play, etc. So at this point, the game has started with multiplayers, and Naftali has a teammate, and they now have to work together, and they're competing against 2 other people that had logged on. So yeah, I did want to show you guys those features. So Naftali, thank you very much for the demonstrations.
Yeah.
And so at this point, we have given you guys an overview of the different features in the learning platform, and we've done a demo of the coding game and the PARC sim game. And I wanted to just make a couple of announcements before we end for today. You know, usually with PARC, we have our competitions around July period, but we get started in February. So teams are already starting to ask, you know, what's happening for 2021? And honestly, the answer is we're still working on it, because with the pandemic that's still going on, it's a bit unclear if we're going to be having physical events or virtual ones. We're going to be moving forward in 2 different ways. We're going to we're going to create the virtual platform so that way there's has capabilities to be able to host different teams on there and compete. But we also will have, we're also working on a physical event that respects social distancing. So again, it's still unclear on how we're going to go about doing this, but we're working quick, we're working fast. You guys already have heard from our awesome sponsors and our organizers. So you know that we have people who really care. So yeah, we're working hard on this, and we'll be able to give updates to you guys soon. But do know that the virtual learning platform is available now for people to start using and engaging with. And then we do plan on having some sort of competition for 2021. So I want to thank you all so very much for taking the time out to join in on this celebration. We got a chance to review on PARC's journey from 2015 to 2020, all the hard work, all the effort, all the passion that has been put into it. And I think we're all just like, we're happy to do it, and we really think it's going to make a huge difference in the lives of these young Africans as they become scientists and engineers. So big thank you again to everyone. And I will conclude here, but the work continues. So we'll keep in touch and enjoy the virtual learning platform. Thank you.